Well, if you've been watching the channel for a while, you probably get tired of me saying it. You're in for a real treat. We hit Arches National Park, one of the mighty 5 parks in Utah. In this video, we'll show you what you can see from the roadside, what you can hike to with a short hike, how you can get out to Delicate Arch if you're brave enough, and even camping in the national park. The first thing you realize is that the drive itself is the first attraction. It's just non-stop, jaw-dropping views. It's impossible to take a bad picture here. As with most of the parks I go to, I like to go through the front gate and first stop at the visitor center, because that's where you can get the most useful information to plan your trip. Even though we had spent months watching videos about visiting Arches, it's still neat to see all of the display boards in person. The museum, though small, was very interesting. They had some awesome displays and showed how this area was formed with wind, water, and millions of years. Additionally, they told you about some of the wildlife you may encounter while at Arches National Park. The Arches Scenic Drive is the main route through the park and offers breathtaking views. If anyone in your party is mobility impaired, you can get a great experience at Arches National Park without ever getting out of your vehicle. Along the drive, you'll find numerous scenic overlooks and places to possibly have a nice picnic. And for those of you who enjoy hiking, Arches offers miles and miles of trails. In this video, I'll try and show you a few of them, but stay tuned for the most scary hike I've ever done in my life. We've got a couple more miles before our first stop. Just look at that view. It's simply amazing. It was really helpful to have the displays explaining what I was looking at. Here, I would have never known that there was a previous arch that had fallen to the ground. From the parking lot, it's just a short walk on a paved trail to get to Balanced Rock. It makes a great photo op, that's for sure. My first real hike was at Windows Trail. This area is often called the backyard of the Arches because of how many formations are clustered together. Here, you can easily walk up to the north and south window and the massive turret arch. They're impressive for their sheer size, giving you a chance to walk right up to and even through these gigantic openings. This hike is suitable for those in the beginner to moderate level of fitness. There are some uneven surfaces, but all around not that bad, and you can make the hike as long as you like. The hiking, driving, and exploring has really helped me build up quite an appetite, so it's time to head over to the van. Well, I did window arch and turret arch, and I took a ton of video, ton of pictures, but I don't know if I've done it justice. But I'm back sitting down having some lunch before I go to double arch. The benefit of having a camper van is you always have food available and your bed is not far away. Now that lunch is over, it's time for double arch. Honestly, this was probably my favorite trail that we did. This is another trail that I recommend for people with a beginner to moderate level of fitness. Most of the trail is compacted and you can get right up close to the arch. The only difficult part of this trail is at the end if you decide to climb up the arches. Like I said before, this was my favorite hike. I think it's because the arches are so visually interesting, being that you have 2 of them coming together. This is one of those areas where it was hard to limit how many pictures I took because it's such a beautiful area. I'd really love to hear about some of your favorite hikes. Please leave me a comment below. Well, that was pretty insane. A lot of fun hiking up there. Just to be warned, it is harder coming down than going up, so take your time. Wear some good shoes with some good grip on them, because if you're wearing some really loose, slippery shoes, you're gonna slide all over the place and wind up unintentionally down there. From Double Arch, it was just a short drive and we enjoyed all the colors of the desert, but I knew my moment of reckoning was coming as Delicate Arch was on the horizon. Delicate Arch is not for the faint of heart, and I would rate it as strenuous and terrifying for me. Shortly down the path, you run into an old homestead cabin, which was kind of neat to peer inside. Almost there, right?
Pretty close.
Part we're coming up to next is some switchbacks. It's where we're going to start gaining some elevation. So far, it's been easy, but I just left the parking lot. Well, the path has deteriorated just a bit, but still not bad at all. Some uneven terrain, but so far a pretty smooth overall trail. Stairs, I love stairs. This is the spot where it turns into the slick rock face. Well, this part should be fun. We'll see. Now, one thing, I'm not real fond of heights or steep ledges. I think this has both of those, so we'll see. We'll do our best. Van's way back there. That's a good sign. Who's that guy following me? So cool how they carved these into the... So we were reading online and it said you would see this arch and then you have to go around a sheer face with a high wall on one side and overhang openness falling to your death on the other side. Hopefully we're going to avoid the falling to your death part. The good thing is perhaps on the other side the mountain will be blocking the wind. A couple people have said we're almost there, up and around that bend. I'm just gonna hug the wall. I'm just gonna put the camera away till I get to the other side. It was quite windy on this hike, which I think added to the fear factor for me and made this an epic hike, but the most scary hike I've ever done. I've been living at the beach at sea level for 30-something years. The elevation and exposed ledges were no joke. The good news is it's all downhill from here. Well, downhill, uphill, downhill. But it should be much easier. This is why I won't be doing Angel's Landing. This is terrifying to me. Good luck to my son who wants to do it. So as terrifying as it was going up, it's a very big relief coming down. I think the endorphins are kicking in. I'm very happy, proud of myself for overcoming that fear. Well, not gracefully, but overcoming that fear and having a great time. Should we do it? There's a side trail if you're interested in seeing the petroglyphs. Petroglyphs is just another word for ancient graffiti. Convince me I'm wrong. I was actually really impressed with how well preserved these were after hundreds of years. Well, I made it down alive, and now it's time to head on over to our campground. The campground at Arches National Park is called Devil's Garden. You have to go online to recreation.gov to reserve your spot ahead of time. We had spot 23, and I highly recommend this. We had the most amazing sunrise in the morning. The site itself is a standard national park campground site with a picnic table and fire ring. Be warned, there is no electric, no water hookups at all, so you have to be off-grid. But what it lacks in amenities makes up for with location, location, location. We loved this site. It has been an epic day of hiking, and now I am ready for bed, but first I get to eat some dinner with an amazing view. There are 3 restrooms with flushing toilets located around the campground. However, when we were there, the one across from us was closed for remodeling. Like I said, I highly recommend Site 23. We had great sunsets, but it was a wonderful place for breakfast in the morning to watch the sun rise. After Arches, our next stop will be Capitol Reef. Be sure to watch for that video to come out soon. She's leaving me. I miss my wife. Just kidding. She's just going to get a picture. I really hope you've enjoyed our time in Arches, and I thank you for following us on this adventure. Please hit like and think about subscribing if you're not already a subscriber.